The Pitt just lost one of its most beloved characters. No warning. No grand farewell. Just gone. And the fans who saw it coming are the ones who are hurting the most. There are shows you watch. And then there are shows that find you, that crawl under your skin at 2 in the morning when you can't sleep, that make you feel the weight of other people's emergencies like they're your own. The Pitt is one of those shows. It didn't arrive quietly. It arrived like a trauma patient through double doors, urgent, bleeding, demanding your full attention. Set in a Pittsburgh emergency room over the course of a single, brutal, unrelenting 15-hour shift, it stripped away every comfortable hospital drama cliché and replaced it with something raw, something honest, something that felt, at times, almost too real to watch. And at the heart of that realness, threading through every chaotic hour of the show, was a character who never asked for the spotlight but earned it anyway. Quietly, methodically, scene by scene. Dr. Mohan. And now, heading into Season 3, the unthinkable has happened. She's leaving. Before we get into what this means for the show, and trust me, we will get into all of it, I need you to understand something about why this particular exit hits differently. Why this isn't just a casting change. Why, for a significant portion of the Pitt's fan base, this feels like losing someone real. Because that's what great television does. It makes loss feel personal. Let's start at the beginning. Dr. Mohan didn't walk into Pittsburgh Memorial demanding attention. That was never her style. She was the kind of character writers dream about and audiences don't always immediately recognize. The one who operates in a negative space of a scene. While other characters shouted, she observed. While others broke, she held. While the ER around her descended into controlled chaos, Dr. Mohan was the still point. The axis. Her background gave her that quality. A character shaped by expectation. The weight of a medical family's legacy. The pressure of being exceptional in a system that simultaneously demands perfection and punishes humanity. She carried that tension in every interaction. You could see it in the way she paused before speaking, in the way she chose her battles, in the way she sometimes didn't fight, and whether that was wisdom or self-protection was never entirely clear. That ambiguity was the point. The writers never let Dr. Mohan be simply good or simply flawed. She was both, simultaneously, in ways that felt genuinely true to what it means to practice emergency medicine. She made calls that saved lives and calls she'd spend years second-guessing. She connected with patients who reminded her of the people she was afraid to be, and she kept her distance from the ones who hit too close. Fans didn't just like Dr. Mohan. They recognized her. For viewers who have ever felt the pressure of being the competent one, the one everyone leans on, the one who isn't supposed to crack, she was a mirror, a validation. The Pitt said, yes, this is real. Yes, it's exhausting. Yes, you're still worthy of being seen. And now that mirror is being taken away. But here's what I haven't told you yet. And this is where the story gets complicated. Supriya Ganesh brought Dr. Mohan to life in the way that only happens when an actor and a role are genuinely matched, when it stops being performance and starts being something closer to inhabitation. What Ganesh did across 2 seasons was technically precise and emotionally generous in equal measure. The medical authenticity the Pitt demands is unforgiving. The show's commitment to real-time storytelling means every scene, every procedure, every decision has to land with the credibility of an actual ER. There's no cutting away, no convenient time jumps. You're in that room for that 15-hour shift, and everything has to be real. Ganesh delivered that reality, and then she delivered everything underneath it. The loneliness, the pride, the quiet grief, the moments of unexpected warmth that made Dr. Mohan feel three-dimensional rather than functional. Watching her work opposite Noah Wile's Dr. Rabinovich was some of the finest acting the show produced. 2 people operating at the edge of their capacity with completely different philosophies about what medicine is for, and underneath all of it, a mutual respect that neither of them was entirely comfortable admitting. That dynamic is now gone. And Supriya Ganesh's departure from the show heading into Season 3, confirmed, real, not a rumor, raises a question that's been rippling through fan communities since the news broke. Why? Hold that question. Because the answer is more layered than you might expect. When a beloved character exits a prestige television drama, there are always two parallel conversations happening simultaneously. The first is in story. What narrative logic does the departure follow? Does it honor the character? Does it feel earned? The second conversation is behind the curtain. What actually happened? Contract? Creative differences? The actor's own choices? In the case of Dr. Mohan's exit, both conversations are interesting. From a story perspective, Season 2 laid the groundwork, whether intentionally or retrospectively, for a natural departure point. Dr. Mohan's arc had been building toward a reckoning. The tension between her personal ambitions and her institutional loyalties, the unresolved question of whether Pittsburgh Memorial was a destination or a stopover, the relationship dynamics that had stretched to their breaking point, all of it pointed toward change. There's a version of this exit that is beautifully written, a version where Dr. Mohan leaves not because she failed, but because she finally understands what she needs, and Pittsburgh isn't it. A departure that honors everything the character fought for without sentimentalizing it. Whether that's the version audiences will get is something we'll return to in a moment. Because first, the other conversation. Details around Supriya Ganesh's departure remain carefully managed, which is its self-telling. In Hollywood, silence is a language. When an exit is purely creative and amicable, studios talk about it. When it's complicated, when contracts, creative visions, or personal circumstances create friction, the language becomes careful, measured, deliberate. What we know is this. Ganesh will not be a series regular in Season 3. The door, by most accounts, has not been slammed, but has been closed, at least for now. And now, here's the cliffhanger I promised you. Her exit isn't the only major shift happening in the Pitt heading into Season 3. Something else is changing. Something that might actually tell us more about the show's future than any single casting decision. Enter Ayesha Harris. Or rather, re-enter Ayesha Harris. Because if you've been watching The Pitt closely, you already know that her character has been one of the show's most quietly compelling presences. The kind of supporting role that Season 1 establishes, Season 2 deepens, and Season 3, apparently, is ready to unleash. Harris's promotion to series regular for Season 3 is not a coincidence. It is a statement. Here's what that statement says. The Pitt is deliberately redistributing its center of gravity. The departure of Dr. Mohan creates a vacuum. Emotional, hierarchical, thematic, and Harris's character is being positioned to fill it. Not to replace Dr. Mohan, because these are fundamentally different characters with different energies, but to inherit the weight of what that role represented in the ensemble. This is a show consciously evolving. An evolution in television is always a gamble. The audience that fell in love with the original dynamic, the specific chemistry of Season 1 and Season 2's core cast, doesn't automatically tee the Pitt's real-time structure. One episode, 1 hour, one continuous shift has been its defining artistic choice. It's also been its greatest creative constraint, because when you're locked to a single shift, you're locked to a single population of characters. The world of the show is defined by who's working when you're watching. Whispers from production suggest that Season may 3rd explore a structural shift, potentially expanding the show's temporal canvas, moving between day and night shifts in a way that the Pitt hasn't attempted before. If true, this changes everything about the show's texture. The night shift of Pittsburgh Memorial has always had a specific energy. Quieter, lonelier. The emergencies feel more desperate at 3 a.m. because the institutional structures that prop up daytime medicine are thinner. Fewer administrators, fewer resources, the raw skeleton of healthcare operating without its scaffolding. Day shift brings different pressures. More visibility, more politics, more of the bureaucratic machinery that grinds against the idealism that brought most of these characters into medicine in the first place. Dr. Mohan lived in that tension between idealism and institution. Her exit, and Harris's elevation, may signal that the Pitt is ready to spend more time in the day, in the politics, in the power structures, in the uncomfortable questions about what hospitals are for. That could be extraordinary television, or it could lose the very quality that made the show special. Here's the second cliffhanger I promised you. And this one comes with genuine uncertainty attached. Dr. Mohan's exit, by most indications, is not being written as a death. This matters enormously in television, because a living character is a door that remains open. A dead character is a story that's been told. The working theory among close followers of the show is that Dr. Mohan leaves Pittsburgh, the city, the hospital, the life she built there, rather than being written out through tragedy. Which means, theoretically, she could return. A guest appearance, a season finale, a moment where the story demands her presence and the writers have the intelligence to call her back. Whether Supriya Ganesh would be open to that return is unknown, but the fact that the possibility exists is not nothing. It's a thread the showrunners are smart enough to leave uncut. Fan communities have already started the petition campaigns, because of course they have. The passionate, occasionally chaotic, deeply loyal Pitt fandom does not accept loss quietly, which is, honestly, a tribute to what the show built. The fan response has moved through recognizable stages. First, denial. This can't be right. It's a rumor. The show wouldn't do this. The bargaining phase of television grief. Then anger. Forum threads measuring the Pitt's creative team against their perceived betrayal. Arguments that Supriya Ganesh was the beating heart of the ensemble, and that her departure represents a fundamental misunderstanding of what made the show work. And then, gradually, for some fans, not all, something quieter. A recognition that stories change. That the shows we love most are the ones brave enough to break our hearts for the right reasons. That grief is just love with nowhere to go. The Pitt fandom is working through all of it simultaneously in real time in the chaotic communal space of the internet. It's messy and passionate and occasionally unreasonable. And it is, in its own strange way, a testament to what Supriya Ganesh built inside this show. You don't get that reaction for a character nobody cared about. Oh, here's where we stand. Dr. Mohan is leaving the Pitt. Supriya Ganesh is stepping away from the role she made unforgettable. Ayesha Harris is stepping forward. The show is shifting, tonally, structurally, in ways we won't fully understand until season 3 actually arrives. And somewhere in the middle of all of that uncertainty is the real question, the one that every great television drama eventually forces its audience to answer. Can you love a show after it loses the person you watched it for? Can the Pitt survive this? Can it evolve? Genuinely evolve, not just replace what Dr. Mohan represented? Can Ayesha Harris carry new weight without the audience resenting her for not being the weight they already knew? I think it can. I think the bones of this show are strong enough. I think the writers understand what they're risking. But I also think losing Dr. Mohan is going to hurt for a long time. In the good way. In the way that only happens when a show was brave enough to make you care this much. Now I want to hear from you. Are you staying with the Pitt through this transition? Or did Dr. Mohan's exit take something with it that you're not sure the show can get back? Drop your answer in the comments. Fight about it. Be honest. Because this fandom, this show, it can handle the truth. Don't forget to subscribe because whatever season 3 brings, we are covering every single moment of it that rants for their loyalty to a new configuration. Loyalty has to be earned, season by season, character by character. What works in Harris's favor is that the Pitt has already done the groundwork. Her character hasn't been a background presence suddenly thrust into the spotlight. The show has been quietly, carefully building her into someone the audience already trusts. Whether they trust her enough to follow her through a significantly restructured season 3 is the question. But there's something else embedded in this shift. Something about time.